everyone. Hope you've had an amazing time at ANU so far and got to learn a lot about our beautiful campus and the programs we do offer. I'm Priya, a master's student at ANU, and I'm doing my master's in quantitative biology and bioinformatics. So the next session will be by Professor Russell Gruen, and they will be talking about why study medicine at ANU. So I'll hand it over to them now.
Thank you very much and welcome everybody to this session. I'm the Dean of the College of Health and Medicine. I'm sure many of you were just in a session from our wonderful students presenting about a day in the life of studying here. What in this session we have is some of our senior leaders of the various education programs across our college, and I want you to have an opportunity to hear from them about their vision for what it's like for future students here. This university is special, and when students come here, they join a community that has a purpose. It's a purpose around knowledge for the nation. It's a unique combination of science and service to the people of Australia. You get an education here that's not just about the discipline. You're part of a community that serves the people of Australia, has a major public policy connection, being at the heart of the country in Canberra, and is at the centre of Australia's regional and global interests. We take a view that health and well-being has biological, psychological, social and environmental dimensions. We organise ourselves here at the university along the building blocks of life, the micro, the science, the laboratories, the whole person, and then populations of people. At the scientific, biological, cellular and molecular level is one of the original schools of the university, the John Curtin School of Medical Research. At the level of the whole person, we have this year brought together our former School of Medicine and our former Research School of Psychology to form the first in the world School of Medicine and Psychology, deliberately celebrating the interdependence and indivisibility of body and mind, of physical health and mental health, and the importance of the practitioners that are going to look after you and me in the future have the ability to have a detailed understanding of the whole person. And then for populations of people, we are the home to the National Centre for Epidemiology and Population Health, which of course was one of the engine rooms for Australia's pandemic response. This session is oriented to why study health and medicine here at the ANU. I think there are a variety of reasons. Some of them are listed on this slide. We do aim to be different. We do aim to provide a different experience. We're really about pushing the frontiers of knowledge as a science-based university. We aim to not just provide training for practitioners, but to prepare leaders who are going to make a difference in the future. We're oriented to strengthening and reforming Australia's health system and the health systems in the region and across the world. And we have a strong community focus where we want our communities to flourish, and we play a particular role in that. We have generally small class sizes compared to the other big group of 8 universities. But we have teachers who are world leaders in their field. We have strong cohorts of people who bring all sorts of experiences and cultures from across the world as the most international campus. And we have the largest number of students actually living on campus. This is a unique combination of assets that this university presents and offers. I now want you to hear from our leaders in the various specific disciplines, and I'm going to start with Liz Rieger, Professor Liz Rieger to my left here, who is the Associate in Education for Psychology and a clinical psychologist. Liz, tell us about psychology.
Thanks so much, Russell. So psychology is about understanding the complexity of human thought and emotion and behaviour. And because of that subject matter, it's hard to imagine a profession where psychology isn't going to be relevant and isn't going to enhance your skills, and therefore people who are high in psychological literacy, have high psychological knowledge and skills and abilities, are highly employable and sought after by employers. Psychology here at the ANU has a very proud history. We've been on the campus for over 70 years. We're amongst the leading psychology schools in the world. We perform above average in terms of our research performance. And as will be the case across the board, and in fact across the ANU, that you will gain your knowledge in psychology and critique that knowledge and learn to be a creator of knowledge by people who themselves are world leaders in the creation of knowledge, because all of your educators are leading researchers. In terms of your undergraduate psychology programs, we have 2 named degrees, the Bachelor of Psychology Honours and the Bachelor of Science in Psychology, but you can specialise and major in psychology across various degrees, whatever your passion, where your interests and where your skills lie. For example, you could major in psychology as part of a Bachelor of Science or a Bachelor of Arts. And across those different programs, the types of subject matter that you would be involved in are things like cognitive psychology. How do we come to believe what we believe? How do we change our thought processes? Neuroscience, social psychology, very importantly, looks at our how to build positive relationships. It's the strongest predictor of longevity is actually our level of social integration. It's more important than medical factors in predicting longevity. We have courses on health psychology, personality psychology, clinical psychology, forensic psychology is also very popular, and research methods. So our undergraduate degrees will provide you with a very firm foundation in the discipline of psychology. For those of you who are interested, you can then at the ANU go on to do a Masters of Professional Psychology, Masters and PhD in Clinical Psychology. So there are pathways to becoming registered psychologists. Russell's already mentioned the world first of medicine and psychology coming together, which we're so excited about, and the unique educational offerings that you will receive as part of that integration. And the last point that I'll make before handing over is I think the ANU and its outstanding reputation are clearly a draw card for students coming to the ANU, but I think for some folk it can actually be a little bit intimidating. And will the emphasis on academic excellence at the ANU actually come at a cost to my wellbeing? So I really wanted to communicate strongly that we take academic excellence and supporting you to achieve your potential very seriously, but we equally take your wellbeing very seriously. And as one example of that, one of the first year psychology courses is a wellbeing course where you learn about the science of wellbeing, but equally you learn about the practice of wellbeing, the skills to enhance your own wellbeing and the wellbeing of others. So we're excited about you considering psychology. Thank you.
Thank you, Liz. Next to Liz is Associate Professor David Kramer. David is head of the Bachelor of Health Sciences program here at the ANU. In fact, David designed that program as a unique program in the national landscape. ANU has a postgraduate medical program, and a number of those students from the Bachelor of Health Sciences program will go on to do medicine. Some will go on to do other things. And I guess one of the interesting things, David, is for people who want to do medicine, there are a variety of different possibilities, aren't there?
Thank you, Russell. So I am the convener of the Bachelor of Health Science, and the Bachelor of Health Science was designed to provide curriculum that both provides an understanding of medical science so that our graduates have the literacy to engage with researchers and primary literature in medical science, and also a strong focus on health science to introduce the different perspectives that people who are involved in health from a wide range of professions have on health problems and understanding health problems, because solutions to health problems often require multidisciplinary teams and really creative collaborative work. The health science curriculum includes emphasis on understanding social foundations of health, and contributes to understanding of how evidence and research is used to inform policy decisions and to evaluate policies that have been enacted to try to address and improve health. Within the ANU, our Bachelor of Health Science has a pathway into medicine where we select students from this pathway after their first 2 years of study based on their academic achievement in the course, but also a personal statement that the applicants put together about their reflections on what they've done as students at the ANU, how that has contributed to their own personal development and their understanding of why medicine is an appropriate career for them. We have another pathway, which is a vertical double degree with the Masters of Public Health that my colleague Katie will tell you about. And in this pathway, students in their third year are able to study master's level courses, up to 4 of them, and then progress into the Masters of Public Health and to achieve the Bachelor of Health Science and the Masters of Public Health within 4 years as a vertical double degree. Students who are in the pathway to medicine and who are selected into the medical program are allowed to defer for a year, and so they can achieve both the Masters of Public Health and the Doctor of Medicine and Surgery in a 5-year period. And so that's a real benefit of the ANU, that you can go through in 8 years and achieve 3 degrees. So I'll pass on to Katie.
Thank you, David. So next is Professor Katie Glass. Now, Katie is a Cambridge-educated epidemiologist and biostatistician. Katie has done some of the most advanced modelling for Australia throughout the course of the pandemic, but she's also the Associate Director of Education for the National Centre for Epidemiology and Population Health, and therefore oversees all of its education programs.
Thanks, Russell. So I have to say it's quite good post-COVID. I don't have to spend as long as I used to explaining to people what population health is. I feel like we've had an opportunity now and people have more of an idea of what it is. It's all those strategies that we use to try and improve the health of the whole population, whether it's wearing masks or getting vaccinated. But population health is more than just infectious diseases. It's looking at the effects of smoking or vaping on population health. It's Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander wellbeing. It's looking at mental health. It's looking at potentially adverse impacts of climate change. And one of the reasons I really enjoy working in population health is it brings together people from a whole range of different disciplines. So we have people with medical degrees and nursing degrees, but we also have anthropologists and health economists and statisticians and demographers, and everyone working together on these quite complex problems, bringing those different disciplinary knowledges together. And so reflecting that need to have people from a whole wide range of different backgrounds, our master's level degree accepts people from any sort of undergraduate program. So if you want to do a master's in public health at the ANU, you can do anything else before you get there. But obviously I know lots of you are choosing your undergraduate programs. David's already talked a bit about the Bachelor of Health Science, and that's a really great option if you're thinking of wanting to go into population health. It then also lets you have your options open into whether you want to go into medicine or maybe into population health. And the vertical double he described, which lets you get a bachelor and a master's degree in 4 years, is also available with other bachelor degrees at the ANU, so in science or in health and medicine. So including the Bachelor of Medical Science that I'm sure Brian's going to talk about in a minute.
Thank you, Katie. Associate Professor Brian Billups is a neuroscientist. You want to tell people a bit about what you do there, Brian? But he's also the Associate Director of Education in the John Curtin School of Medical Research and oversees the master's level programs and other coursework activities that they're involved in.
Yes, thank you very much, Russell. And as Russell said, I work in the John Curtin School for Medical Research. It's a beautiful building down Sullivan's Creek, this one here. And it's one of Australia's premier research institutes. So we house researchers doing things like neuroscience, which is my field particularly, and there's also immunology, genomics, cancer, and also institutes around the National Centre for Indigenous Genomics, Biological Resource Facility, Australian Phenomics Facility, all these sorts of major research infrastructure that's part of the College of Health and Medicine. Now, students in the ANU who are undertaking degrees such as the Bachelor of Health Science, Psychology, also the Bachelor of Medical Science, they'll be taking some courses, and those are courses that we teach. So courses in cancer, courses in neuroscience, courses in immunology. These tend to be the higher level, the third-year courses. They're small class sizes, and they're courses that are taught by the world's leading researchers in those fields. So the people standing up and giving you your lectures have usually just walked over from the lab where they've been doing their experiments, and they'll be teaching you. The students tutoring you in the lab and in your tutorials will probably be PhD students who are working in those fields and who have direct experience of working in those areas. Now, beyond our undergraduate coursework teaching, we also have project students in the lab. So students in those degrees can take projects, research projects in the school, particularly PhD students, Bachelor of Science students can take research projects. But any student doing an honours degree in biomedical science can do an honours programme in John Curtin School. So this is 1 year of research. And our honours programme is almost an entire year of research in the lab. So you're in those labs, you're doing cutting-edge research using some of the latest equipment, and the professors will be hands-on, they'll be there teaching you, helping you. You'll do a great research project. Some of our research projects are published, and students have a great experience in those labs. When they've finished their courses or their research projects, then they go on to graduate their program. Many students will go on to the graduate medical program. Many students will stay on to do PhDs. But also many of our students will go into other areas, other allied health areas. A lot of our graduates work in the government, many in the health department, and the TGA is full of graduates from John Curtin School. So that's all I want to say. Thank you, Liz.
Thank you very much, Brian. At the end of the row here, we have one of the people who keep us honest, our students. Patrick O'Farrell is a medical student. He's part of the Rural Clinical School. And Patrick, perhaps you can tell us a bit about your journey to the point of where you are now, and perhaps what your vision is for the future.
Sure thing. Thank you, Prof. So my name's Patrick. I'm a medical student in my 4th year at ANU. And first of all, I'd just like to acknowledge that we meet here on Ngunnawal and Ngambri land and pay my respects to our elders, past, present and emerging. I remember when I was sitting in your position as a prospective student, and the thing is that medicine is extremely competitive, so I was happy to get a gig anywhere, to be honest, but I really lucked out by having the opportunity to come to ANU, and I'm incredibly, incredibly privileged and grateful for what I've been able to experience while I've been here. I think, first of all, from an academic perspective, it's already been mentioned by all the panelists, but the quality of teaching at ANU is really second to none. And I think a lot of that has to do with how closely related you are with your clinicians because of the class sizes. It's really common for you to be surrounded by just doctors and have a lot of time to learn directly from the source, which is so fantastic. And there are plenty of extra opportunities as well. So as Prof mentioned, I was in the rural health stream, which meant that in my 3rd year, I spent the year in Young, New South Wales, which is a town that not everybody knows about, but it's about 7,000 to 8,000 people, and it's well known for its cherries, but it's also simply the greatest town I've ever been to because of the medical experience that I was able to gain there, and it will always have a special place in my heart. The thing is that it's important to learn how to be a great doctor before you do go on to specialise, and that's the experience that I got to gain by going to Young. I learned about absolutely every system in the body and saw patients from all walks of life. the thing is that I've always been incredibly interested in doing surgery. That's what I currently always still want to do. But people ask me, why did you go to Young if there's not too much surgery happening there? The thing is, there is surgery happening in Young, and because I was one of two medical students in town, it meant that I scrubbed into absolutely every procedure, and I spent a lot of time with the clinicians who are coming from Wagga, the orthopedic surgeons who are consulting, and various other surgeons as well. So I now have connections that will really set me in good stead for the vision that I have for myself, which is to become a surgeon. And that's the case for whatever specialty or type of doctor you envision yourself becoming. The other thing is that there's an Indigenous health stream that I'm part of as well. I had the very unique experience of being able to go to Muditjulu at the base of Uluru and spend 6 weeks in the Aboriginal community there, and again, learn directly from the source about the pressing need that is present in Indigenous communities in Australia. And currently, I'm on 6 weeks of placement at the SAN, Sydney Adventist Hospital in Sydney, which is also where I'm originally from. And again, learning from world-class conditions thanks to the specific link that ANU has with that hospital. And even at the beginning of this year, I also had 6 weeks in Tanzania observing orthopedic and neurosurgery over there as well. So again, I'm incredibly fortunate, incredibly blessed and grateful to be at ANU and to have access to clinicians and academics who want me to become the doctor that I want to become, which is one who is a world leader, because that's the vision that absolutely everyone at ANU has, absolutely across the board. I guess in addition as well, the student experience is excellent. The medical school in particular is incredibly friendly, and at the end of the day, everybody wants to support each other to get through, rather than focus on outcompeting each other or anything like that, which only makes it positive and productive. So yeah, ANU is really fantastic. I guess also when my dad went to ANU, Canberra was very different. And you might hold some reservations if you come from somewhere that's not Canberra about coming to Canberra. It's not the country town that it was back then. It's really a vibrant and dynamic community, and any interest at all that you have, there's space for that. All types of sport, music, cultural pursuits, all those kinds of things. So I couldn't recommend it more.
Thank you, Patrick. And I think you've got everybody's eyes goggling here that you spent a year in a rural town in New South Wales, 6 weeks in Tanzania, 6 weeks in Mutitjulu, just at the base of Ayers Rock, and now 6 weeks at the oldest, highest performing private hospital in New South Wales in Sydney, at the Sydney Adventist Hospital. That's an education. That's all we've got time for, I'm afraid. This panel, I'm sure, could answer a lot of your questions. There will still be people over at the stands on the 6th floor of the Murray Ray building, just across the way, to answer your questions for a little longer today. But on behalf of the university and the college, I want to thank you all, Liz, David, Katie, Brian, and Patrick. And thank you all for coming today and showing your interest in health and medicine and psychology at the Australian National University, and we'll be welcome to chat with you outside afterwards. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Professor Russell, and your wonderful panel to tell us all about what it is like studying health, medicine, or psychology at ANU. I thank everyone for coming and attending Open Day. Hope you did learn about the opportunities ANU does provide to you, and it will definitely, you'll find a new home at ANU as well. So thank you all for coming, and we're towards the end of this beautiful day. The exits are to the left, and hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and good luck with your future. Thank you.